Rob Tebbutt here with Alex Krassyuk of K2 Promotions, of course, the promoter of the unified heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk. Alex, always good to see you, my friend, particularly in light of recent events. How are you?
It's my pleasure seeing you. I'm doing good. Thank you, bro.
Good. Right, before we jump into the boxing, I don't particularly want to dwell too long on what's happening in your homeland, but since the last time I saw you, things have obviously changed quite dramatically in Ukraine. Just want to know if you're okay, really, Alex, and how things have been over this last period of time and how you're doing now.
Well, how can I be okay if the war is happening in my country, my homeland? Definitely, I'm not okay, as not a single Ukrainian is. We are facing the probably the worst thing that even couldn't be anticipated. Our neighbors suddenly decided to invade into our country and to destroy it, to kill the Ukrainian people. You can't feel good about that, definitely. So, what else can I say? It's awful, but the good thing is that we are very strong. And it's not a matter of weapons, it's not a matter of just fighting skills, it's a matter of brave heart. So there's no chance for any invader to get lucky on our homeland. So it might take some time, but the aggressor will be severely punished.
As I say, we will move on and talk about Oleksandr Usyk's fight very shortly. I just want to, we saw the pictures of him, Vasily Lomachenko, the Klitschko brothers, of course. Just what has it been like for Oleksandr at this period of time? Of course, he's spent time with the troops, with the army. We've seen the recent interview that he gave where he said and you said that he'd lost some weight. Just how has that been for him in this whole period?
Rob, not just for him, but for everyone, it was a huge stress. When you wake up 5 o'clock in the morning for the sound you hear, and it was the sound of explosion. It doesn't make you happy at all. You are a man, you have to defend your family, you have to defend your country, you have to defend your interests. So the first thing that comes in mind is to take and to go. That was it. And a long time passed already. It's over 3 months of the aggression. Since that time, many things changed. The world changed considerably, and the Ukrainians' mentality changed. Now it's very strict. Now it's very tough, and now it's very concentrated. So everyone in his heart, deep in his heart, is praying for the victory.
I just want to talk about the rematch, obviously, with Anthony Joshua that we'll come on to, we're working towards. Was there ever any danger that the fight could potentially not happen? Was there ever any chance that the conflict going on in Ukraine and Russia was going to scupper the fight? Was that ever a possibility?
You know, there's always a chance that the fight might not take place, and it's not about some certain 1, 2, 3 points. It's about anything may happen everywhere in the world. The world is so turbulent now. But if you think of possible obstacles and you consider them and you take them in mind and you focus on them, you are not on a way for success. So whatever happens, you have to take your road. You have to keep your way. You have to do whatever is required to reach your goal. And speaking about the conflict, well, probably it might really affect it if it was scheduled to, for example, take place in Kiev. But as long as it's not, then probably we expect it to happen in July.
Now, you mentioned you expect it to happen in July. We've heard Eddie Hearn recently say that July the 23rd, somewhere in the Middle East, potentially is the front runner for that fight. Where are we currently with As I understand it, the fight's still not signed.
It's not officially announced yet. As soon as it is officially announced, we speak it as an official fight to take place, certain venue, or certain date, etc. But as long as it's not yet officially announced, we can just say that we have a plan for the 23rd, somewhere in the Middle East. Nothing else to unveil at the moment.
When Eddie spoke yesterday, he spoke about the Middle East being just one of several options. He also referenced the potential for that fight to go to London or potentially in America. He said that Team Usyk, which of course you are part of, very much a part of, want the fight to go to the Middle East because that's where it makes the most money. Is that accurate?
Well, it's not about Team Usyk. It's about our mutual interest. Our contract says that both parties take their best efforts to deliver the biggest benefit to both fighters. It means that all our decisions should be taken upon this principle, the principle of profit maximization. And so if we have 3 offers on the table, and it's very easy to take the decision. The biggest offer is the decision that we take. So it's not just about Team Usyk, it's about Matchroom, it's about K2, it's about Team Usyk, it's about Team AJ. So they all lean for the same for the same conditions.
At the back end of last year, it seemed like me and you were constantly talking about step-aside fees and will this fight happen, will that fight happen? Can you clarify whether there are any conversations going on at the minute for Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk to not fight each other next? Are there any conversations about Usyk potentially fighting somebody else?
Not at all. Not at all. The only conversation we are having now is about the upcoming rematch.
Just want to talk briefly about a fight that we had over here at Wembley Stadium, a place that I know that you know well. You've been there. You've obviously Usyk's not boxed there yet. Maybe.
I've been there at the fight, by the way.
I remember you over there. But Tyson Fury boxed there recently against Dillian Whyte, successfully defended his WBC heavyweight title. I know that you would have had a keen eye on that fight. What did you make of Tyson Fury's performance?
First of all, I want to thank George Warren for inviting me to this event. So I had a chance to see it in a ringside, to watch it live in a very close distance. What can I say? You know, I am the person, I'm not a politician, so I always say the truth. If I see something, I tell what I see, what I saw. Well, I wasn't impressed with the fight. I wasn't impressed with the fight. I was impressed with the event because the event was huge. It was an absolutely huge event. 94,000 in attendance. The atmosphere was just electric. It was an amazing experience for me as a normal fan, because normally I attend the fights as the part of the team, and I leave the fight with a VIP shuttle somewhere, I don't know, some secret road, some secret ways. And this time I was as a regular fan, and I had to leave it myself. So I took all the, I enjoyed every second of walking with this crowd to the subway station, to all those traffic jams. That was an amazing experience for me. So talking about the fight, I didn't see Tyson Fury improving much with his shape since his last couple performance. What I can say is, since his first fight with Deontay Wilder, he didn't improve, and that makes me think that if you stay on the same level and the time goes by, it means you are going down a bit. So Dillian Whyte, well, everyone knew that Dillian Whyte is not a big technician in boxing. He's strong, he's powerful, he has the punch, but his boxing skills are not elite way. So that's what happened actually. The fight didn't look, well, it was a regular heavyweight fight with two clumsy big men walking around each other, trying to hit each other, but the uppercut was a good one. That was probably a part of a strategy, because Dillian Whyte used to get knocked out from the uppercuts. So you shouldn't be a big scientific person to to invent the way to finish the fight. If he got knocked out 3 or 4 times with the uppercut, probably it is the punch you have to focus.
What did you make of Tyson Fury's retirement after the fight, Alex?
I don't take it serious. Once he was a 44-year-old man who got tired of everything, then it probably might be some sort of truth. But he's like 31, and he's on top. The world loves him. The world supports him. His country stands behind him. We've seen so many times the retirements, few retirements in a row with few comebacks. I remember Vitaly Klitschko once taking the decision to retire and then to come back in 4 years. Vladimir Klitschko retired, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, but he's still considering, he's still thinking, he's still talking about the possible chance to come back. Sorry, I had an incoming call. So I don't think it's very very likely that he retires.
Why do you think that he comes back? Because we've heard him in the past talk about Oleksandr Usyk. He said that he's not interested. And then, of course, last year you were almost there to get a deal done for Undisputed. Do you believe that he wants that fight? Do you believe that he wants to fight Oleksandr Usyk?
You cannot trust what Tyson Fury says. Because today he says one thing, tomorrow he changes opposite. Next day he changes it half opposite. He's an entertainer, so he wants what public. He says what public wants to hear from him. And just imagine if he insists on retirement, and people around him try to convince him to come back, and then he says no, 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 and everyone wants him to come back, and then he suddenly takes the decision. Okay, so okay, I will come back. So it's all about the interest. It's all about the publicity. So I think he's a big entertainer, and that might be what he really thinks at the moment. But I'm not sure that he will stay with this decision for a long time.
Just want to go back to Oleksandr. We saw, I referenced earlier the interview where he said that he'd lost 20 pounds in weight in the last couple of months. Give me an insight, if you can, as to his physical state ahead of a potential bout with Anthony Joshua on July the 23rd. How much do you think that he's been physically affected? Of course, we know about the mental side of things and how difficult that must have been. But from a physical training perspective, how difficult do you think it will be to get him in optimum shape for July the 23rd?
You know what? When you stay in the basement because you hear the alarm for the possible missile attack, it's not about you're not feeling hungry, let's say. I had the same. Most of us had the same effect. So we lost some weight, we were in stress, and that's normal for the first period. But then, you know, human psychology is very complicated, and it takes some time to get used to the new obstacles, to the new circumstances and new environment. And then you get used to that, and you don't feel that stressed anymore. That's what happened, actually. So he did lose some weight, like all of us did, but I don't think it's going to affect somehow his condition, because the conditioning is something that comes through hard work in a training camp, and his training camp started early April. So he's now doing good. Thanks God, he's now feeling great. He's very motivated because no, it was a very difficult decision for him to leave Ukraine, extremely difficult, and it took some time and some energy for him to take it. And from the perspective of planet Earth, Oleksandr Usyk has like an army of fans. 100 millions people know him. 100 millions people follow him, and the announcements he can make to the public through what he does is just extraordinary, and you can't lose that chance. You can't just stay away from an exclusive opportunity to say to the whole world, to appeal to the whole world that we need to unite around my homeland. We need to unite around Ukraine, and to stop the war, and to let all Ukrainians come home safe and sound. And by the way, that's what his probably his principal objective was when factors when he took this decision. So he understands, he realizes that he's fighting on a exclusively high level, and the whole world gonna be sitting and watching this fight, and whatever messages he sends to the world will definitely be accepted. And a part of that, we are working now on a strategy to fund some extraordinary money to help Ukraine, to help Ukrainian refugees, to help Ukrainian people survive and stand strong these hard times.
Yeah, I think that's very well said, and it was kind of what I was going to touch upon next with, I mean, Oleksandr, of course, a very decorated amateur, then undisputed cruiserweight champion, now unified heavyweight champion, but he's now no longer fighting, in my opinion, and from what you've just said there, he's now no longer fighting for personal legacy. This is much bigger than that for Oleksandr Usyk and the people of Ukraine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's not fighting for himself. He's not fighting for glory, for fame. He's not just fighting for his personal legacy, like you said. He's fighting for the whole country. He's fighting for the whole democratic world. I mean, when I say democratic, I don't mean the states. I don't mean the countries. I mean the mentality of a free person. I mean that he is fighting for something. He's showing the way to behave. He's showing the way a normal person from nowhere, from a poor family, from a small city in Crimea Peninsula, suddenly becomes the European amateur, then the world amateur, then the Olympic champion, then the world champion in professionals, then disputed champion in professional, and now the unified champion in heavyweight. So this is something that can inspire, I don't know, 100 millions young men to stand strong for their goal, to be motivated, to work hard. That's what he's fighting for.
Just want to talk about Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko. I mean, we've all seen the images of both of them, Vladimir's videos and Vitaly, you know, on the front line. Some of the most powerful images that you could ever see, regardless of sport, regardless of nationality. I just want to ask you about their influence for yourself and Oleksandr, and of course the people of Ukraine during this difficult time.
You know, these two brothers, they've always been the icon for Ukraine. Since Vladimir turned the first Olympic champion in boxing, first Ukrainian Olympic champion in boxing in 1996, some huge attention was drawn to both of them. And since they turned the professionals, a lot of people followed their careers. But boxing, the sports career finished, and the Klitschko brothers just continued to grow bigger. And now both of them, they are not just big, they are giant. Not because of their success, but because of their real attitude to life, because of their sincere heart, sincere big hearts, huge hearts, because they both of them are brave. They are different, but they have same characters, like being brave, like being very decisive, being very definite in the way they reach out to the world. So you know, when someone when an enemy invades and he wants to kill you personally, and you're not running away from that, on the opposite, you come closer to him and say, okay, let's fight. If you want to fight, then let's fight. So that's what they do. And a part of that, Vladimir is doing just extraordinary job to draw the attention of the whole world, using all his contacts, using his fame. He attracts so much help, assistance to Ukraine globally. So that's I don't know. I can't imagine this war without both brothers.
Again, a very powerful message there. Just the last few from me, Alex. I do appreciate your time, and it is brilliant to catch up with you. I'm not just saying that. On Tyson Fury, is that still very much the plan in Alexander's mind? I'm sure he's not thinking too far ahead with everything obviously going on in Ukraine, as well as Anthony Joshua to fight again. But is it still operation undisputed for Oleksandr Usyk? Is that ultimately the goal for him at heavyweight?
Well, you shouldn't look far away ahead. But the strategy is the strategy. It means the direction you have to go. And this is exactly the direction. He's already unified. He has 3 belts in heavyweight. He has the rematch, a very serious rematch, extraordinary serious rematch. Anthony Joshua has nothing to lose. Nothing at all. He's not fighting under pressure of his home, of his compatriots, of his belts. No pressure at all. The only pressure he has is that if he loses, probably it might be sort of end of his career. That's the only pressure. So he might be more relaxed. And now he has the experience facing Usyk, so he probably has some new things in his mind, new tricks in his mind to present to Alexander. So my anticipation is that this time is going to be even harder. But still, it is what it is. After he defends his titles, he will probably want to go with for the undisputed. And you never know whether it's going to be Tyson Fury, or if he definitely takes the final decision to retire, probably the belt's going to be vacated and someone else is going to become the champion. You never know. But at this stage, we are focused on Anthony Joshua.
You just mentioned there, you said that you expect a more difficult fight for Alexander this time. Do you expect Anthony Joshua to be more quote unquote aggressive? The perception was that he tried to box with Alexander and maybe he should be looking to utilize his physical attributes. Are you expecting that change in his game plan?
That's you shouldn't be very, very smart to take that kind of decision. I mean, listen, you have a sort of advantages and disadvantages. So in order to be successful, you have to use your advantage and to hide your disadvantage. If your advantage is size, weight, power, and someone else's advantage is footwork, techniques, boxing IQ, you shouldn't play his game. You should play your own game. And this is the both, no, it's not, it's a clash of two different styles, of two different strategies. And that's why I think the second fight is gonna be even more impressive and more spectacular than the first one.
Final one on Joshua Usyk, Alex. There's still some debate and there's still some discussion around a UK broadcaster for that fight. Can you confirm or deny any deals being made? Is the fight expected to be on Sky Sports in the UK? Are they the lead? Are they the front runner?
No idea at the moment. No idea. As soon as we have it signed on a paper, then we will be able to comment. But we are not the rights holders. So I'm not even, it's not even polite to comment on something that you have actually not much attitude to. I mean, let's ask my friend Eddie, he would comment better.
Well, I will do as soon as I speak to him. Final one before I let you go. So this past weekend, we saw Canelo Alvarez come up short against Dmitry Bivol. First and foremost, what did you make of the performance from Dmitry Bivol? Spectacular win in Las Vegas.
Same that I had after Usyk. Being strong, having some huge power, doesn't mean that you are the winner. Boxing skills is something that is even more important. You know why? Because it's boxing. Boxing and boxing skills sounds very similar. It's not powerlifting, you know? It's not like, I don't know, it's not wrestling. It's boxing. So you have to perform, first of all, the boxing skills, footwork, and very, very strict discipline in the ring. You have to stick to the plan and go according with your plan. And that's what happened.
There's a lot of people out there, myself included, who now claim that Oleksandr Usyk is pound for pound #1. I'm sure you're not going to disagree with that, but just your thoughts on that in the wake of this past weekend.
Everyone gets what he deserves. How can I comment that? It's not we who decide. We just follow the public decision. I mean, we just follow the crowd decision. If they like him, if they like his style, if they value his achievements, then let it be #1. But it doesn't mean I mean it doesn't say much about the future. It says about the past. So the past brings you to the present, and the present brings you to the future. So if you were good in the past, you enjoy the results in the present. But if you perform no results in the present, you will not enjoy anything in the future.
Put very well, as always. Alex, thanks so much for speaking to me today. It's been a real pleasure to catch up with you. Again, my heart goes out to not only yourself, but the people of Ukraine. And yeah, thanks as always for speaking to me and giving me your time. And I look forward to catching up with you sometime soon. And maybe, who knows, I'll see you July 23rd.
Glory to Ukraine.
you.